Yeah, hello, hello everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day. Today is the 3rd of April, 3rd of April 2026. Okay. So I welcome us all to another day on the DoQuick platform, where we're going to analyze some football games and basketball games, okay? And then we're going to analyze some football games and then some Euro basketball games. And then later, around 7 p.m., we're going to, West African time, we're going to come back and then now analyze some NBA games that will be happening later in the morning, later in the night, and in the morning for West African time. All right, okay. So today, just to remind us also that we have the DoQuick partnership where you can earn 20% for every new members you register. We appreciate those who are already keen into the DoQuick program and already registering. We appreciate your effort. You can register. That can be your side hustle for anybody you register. They become your when they become your downline. Okay, you don't need to know them. You just need register and then you copy your link and you post on social medias. Okay, for anybody who registers and anybody who renews every month is retainership. Once they renew every month, you also still get your 20%. Okay, yeah. So let's get into today. Let's quickly dive into the analysis for today. So today we're just going to look at some one or two football games, and then we'll dive into the Euro and games for today. And around 7 p.m., we'll come back for the NBA games. Okay. So today we are going to look at the Ligue 1 game between Paris Saint-Germain and Toulouse. And then we're also going to look at another football game. I think the La Liga game for today between Real Vallecano and Elche. All right, okay. So let's dive into the main features for today, which is League One and game between and which is between PSG and Toulouse. Okay, let's dive into that match. Okay. All right, so let's dive into this match for today. This is the feature match for today. All right, this is going to be the feature match for today. So what do we have? Remember that what we do at Do Quick, right? We don't analyze games based on intuition. We don't analyze games on vibe. We don't analyze game based on mercy, right? We analyze based on live data from their past performances, right? These are the past performances of these clubs. That's what we analyze, right? Based on their past performances, okay? So if you look at PSG, right, in their last if you look at PSG, right, you can see that overall in their last, this is overall in their last five match, you can see that they have scored an average of two goals and conceded one, while overall, and the away team has scored an average of one and conceded an average of one. Okay, so let's go to when PSG they are playing at home. When PSG are playing at home, they've in the last five. Remember, we're analyzing the last five games alone. When they are playing at home, in the last five game matches, they have scored an average of three. Right, they've scored an average of three goals and conceded an average of two. Actually, when they are playing at home in the last five games, they usually score a lot and they also concede. Okay, they are going to be a very hard bet to place on because they score a lot and also they concede a lot, right? To concede an average of two goals in the last five games is a lot. Okay, is a lot. All right. So what about the away team? The away team, when they are playing at away in the last five games, they have scored an average of two and have conceded an average of two. This is definitely going to be a high scoring game. definitely going to be a high scoring game from what we can see from their last 5 games. Okay, we can also now look at, okay, what has been their last 10 games. Let's see how their consistency has been. All right, in their last 10 games, PSG has scored an average of 2 and 3 and has conceded an average of 1.4. So an average of one, approximately an average of one. While the away team, they've scored an average of one and conceded an average of one in their last 5 games. Okay, let's go back to their last 5 games and look at what they have done half time. Let's see for half time. In their last 5 games for halftime, PSG they've scored an average of one and conceded an average of one in the last 5 games halftime, first halftime. While the away team has scored an average of one and conceded an average of one. They are both almost the same for halftime. Okay, they are both almost the same. They have almost the same statistic. They both conceded one and scored one in their last 5 games halftime. All right, in their last 5 games halftime. Remember, this is their last 5 games halftime. Okay, so let's look at their head to head. Right, you can see in their last 5 games, PSG they're on an 80% form, while the away the away team they're on a 40% form. Okay, PSG has the upper hand. They've won one, while the away team has won. PSG has won 4 times, right? While the away team has won once. Okay, so you can also now look at their last 5 games and their head to head. You can also look at their upcoming games. You can also drill down to say, hey, I want to see what they have played. What's their form all season? Okay, their form all season, right? You can see their form all season, and PSG are on the 68% form, while and the away are on the 35% form. You can see their all season. This is the game they played for all season, right? I think PSG is a little bit much because they are also playing in Europe. Okay, in Europe, these are all their features. You can see Barcelona. These are all their features. You can see Inter Milan, Atalanta. Okay. Yes, so these are all this is their head to head. You can also now let's go back to right? Let's go back to last 5 games, right? You can look at their corner kicks in the last 5 games. In the last 5 games, you can see that PSG they've had an average of 4 corner kicks and conceded 3. While when they are playing at home, we are only interested in what they are playing at home because they're at home, right? And for the away team, we are just interested in what they are. That's why I don't analyze their home match because they are not playing at home; they are playing away, right? So my focus for them is what is their statistics when they are playing away. All right, in their last 5 matches, when they are playing away, they've had an average of 2.5 corner kicks and conceded 5. You can also look at corner kicks for halftime. All right, you can look at corner kick for halftime. Okay, so you can also look at fouls that they've conceded and given out. And PSG have conceded, giving and they've had 13 fouls and they've given out 6.5 fouls average, while the away team has had 13 fouls and then they've committed they've considered 9.5 fouls. You can also look at their shots on goal when they are both playing, when PSG is playing home, is shot on goal when PSG is playing home, and when the away team they are playing away. You can look at their offside, you can look at their goalkeeper saves, okay? You can look at their yellow cards, you can look at their red card, okay, in the last 5 games all season. You can drill down and look at all this. Okay, PSG, they are presently coasting at the top of League One, right? But the away team has become a giant killer, okay, in recent seasons. PSG, they usually dominate at the Parc de France, right? But I think away team has been able to snatch a 1-1 draw in their last meeting. Okay, all right. So this is our the feature match for today. So let's dive into the next match, which the La Liga match between Real Vallecano and Elche. All right, yeah, Vallecano and Elche. Let's also look at what that match will look like later in the day. Okay, later in the evening. It's going to be happening by 8 p.m. West African time. Okay. All right, so let's look at what how is Rev Akano be performing? Okay, how they be performing? Okay, this is a classical La Liga battle for mid-table security. Okay, Rev Akano is known for their high intensity pressing at home. Okay, and these teams are very evenly matched. Three of their last five meetings have ended in draws. Okay, Eche struggles with Rev Akano and narrow pitch dimension. So we're going to expect a very physical and low scoring affair. It's going to be a very physical and low scoring affair. Okay, so let's look at in their last five games, Rayo Vallecano. Let's look at in their last Rayo. Let's look at Rayo in their last five games. Okay, in their last five games, as you can see, they have scored an average of 0.5 goals and conceded an average of one goal. That means at home they hardly score. Okay, they have in the last five games they've hardly scored, and then they've considered an average of one goals. Okay, scoring an average of one goals. What about Eche? Eche also they have in their last five games when they are playing away. When they are playing away, they have scored an average of one and considered an average of 2.7, which is almost three. All right, which is almost considering an average of three. And that's quite high. Okay, that's quite high. But the challenge is Rayo Vallecano, they don't score at home, while HA they concede away. Right, so it's going to be evenly balanced. Okay, because Rayo they don't score at home, and HA they concede away. It's going to be a low scoring game today. Actually, it's going to be a low scoring game. So you can also look at their halftime. Right, in their last five games, you want to look at their halftime. You can also look at their halftime and how have they performed in halftime. You can see in halftime in the last five games, Rayo has not scored at all in first half, while Eche they've not scored also in the first half. Okay, so they have not scored also in the first half, and both teams have conceded. Rayo has hardly conceded, while Eche has considered an average of 1.3. Right, that should give you an idea that both teams have not scored in their last five match first half. Okay, so if you look at it, the signal is they are probably not going to score in the first half of this game. Okay, they're probably not going to score in the first half of this game. So you can also, this is half time. Okay, let's now look at let's look at their head to head. All right, you can see their head to head. Both of them, they are in 20% form. They won only one of their last five games, and then HA has actually won three compared to Rayo two in their last five encounters. So you can look at their last five encounters with each other. You can look at their upcoming games also. Okay, so let's dive into their corner kicks. Okay, can look at their corner kicks the last five games. You can also analyze this for the last 10 games and all season. All right, you can see in their last five games. Okay, their last five games, Real Vallecano they've scored an average of nine. They've had an average of nine corner kicks and scored and considered an average of 3.5 when they are playing at home. Okay, while AH they have had an average of 3.7 corner kicks and considered an average of 4.3. You can also look at their fouls. You can look at their fouls both home and away. You can look at their shots on goals. Okay, shots on goals when Real is playing at home and when HA they are playing away. You can look at their you can look at their offside. You can look at their goalkeeper save. Okay, you can look at their yellow cards. You can look at their red cards. Okay, you can look at their red card and their yellow cards. Okay. Yeah, so that's the La Liga game between Rayo Vallecano and Eche, which will be happening around 8 p.m. West African time. Okay, 8 p.m. West African time. So let's go back to our games for today. Okay, so let's go back. So I think we're done with the football and the two football games today. Like I said, we're just going to run through some of the statistics, analyze some of the games, basketball games, involving French Pro League B, the United Kingdom basketball, the Lithuanian League, EuroCup, and also some Euro games and the Spanish ABA League, right? And then later around 7 p.m., we're going to come back live and analyze the NBA games that will be happening later in the night. Okay, so let's look at no, so let's look at the Euro game. Let's look at the Euro game, which is the game of the night, which is going to be between Bastonia and Real Madrid. Bastonia and Real Madrid. That's going to be the highlight of the Euro Basketball and League game for today. Okay, Euro Basketball League game for today is going to be between Bastonia and Real Madrid. So let's look at what are they? When they are playing, when Bastonia they are playing at home, they have in the last 5 games, right, they have scored an average of 92 points and conceded an average of 104. An average of 104 when they are playing at home in their last 5 games. Okay, when they are playing at home in their last 5 games. Why? Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they have scored an average of 85 points in their last 5 games when they are playing away, and they have conceded 87, right? They've conceded 87. This is going to probably be a high scoring match and full time. So let's look at what's going to look like half time. Okay, that's for full time. Let's look at half time. Okay, let's look at half time. For half time, in the last 5 games, Bastonia, they've scored an average of 46 points and conceded 63. They conceded a lot. Okay, in the last 5 games, they've been conceded a lot. All right. While Real Madrid, they've also scored an average of 55 and they've conceded an average of 53. It's also going to be a likely over game in the first half. Okay, in half time. All right, so this is the analysis for the last 5 games halftime. Okay, 5 games halftime. You can also look at their head to head. You can see that Bastonia they are quite on a poor run of form in their last 5 games. 20% compared to compared to Madrid, who on 80% form. 80% form. They've lost just one of their 5 games. Okay. You can also look at the last 10 games, what their form has been. Okay, you can look at their last 10 games, what their form has been. You can also drill down and look at all season. Okay. Okay, so you can also now look at their field goals in the last 10. Let's go back to the last 5 games. The last In the last 5 games, you can look at their field goals in the last 5 games. Okay, field goals. You can see that Bastonia, they've scored an average of 20 and conceded 22. Right? Why when they are playing at home? Why Real Madrid when they are playing away? They've scored an average of 21 and conceded 19 field goals. You can also look at 3 point goals. Bastonia, they've scored an average of they scored an average of 10 3 point goals and conceded 7 when they are playing at home. While Real Madrid, when they are playing away, they've scored an average of 9 and conceded 11. You can also look at their free throws. You can look at their rebounds. You can look at their assists. You can look at their steals. You can look at their block. You can look at their turnover. Okay, so this is the analysis for the game between Bastonia and Real Madrid, right? Bastonia, they are like I said, Bastonia, they're fresh, and Bastonia is fresh from stunning Real Madrid to win. Okay, okay, to win the 26 Copa del Rey and 89 to 100 back in February. Okay, Real Madrid is out of the blood. But Bastonia was the MVP in the last meeting, but Real Madrid depth usually wins out in the long and European season. Okay, so that's the game between Real Madrid and Bastonia. Real Madrid playing away to Bastonia. Okay, so let's look at the next, which is going to be Bologna versus Valencia. Bologna versus Valencia. Let's look at that game, Bologna versus Valencia. Okay, yeah. Milan versus Valencia. Let's look at that game for today, which is going to be happening around 7:30 West African time. Okay, West African time. So let's look at so if you look at if you look at Bologna in their last Bologna in the last 5 games, they've scored an average of 82 points and have conceded an average of 95 when they are playing at home. Why While Valencia, when they are playing away, they scored an average of 93 and they've conceded an average of 87. This is also going to be a high scoring game. So we can also now look at their halftime. How have they fared in their halftime? You can see Bologna, they've scored an average of 47 and conceded 52. While when they are playing at home, while Valencia, they've scored an average of 55 and conceded 43 when they are playing at home for halftime. Okay, for halftime. You can also now you can also look at their H to H to see what their form has been. Bologna has been on zero form. They've lost their last 5 games. They're in a terrible form at the moment. While Valencia, they're on a 60% form. They've won three and lost two in the last 5 games. Okay, you can look at their field goals when they're both playing home and away. You can look at their 3 points, and you can look at their free rebounds, you can look at their assists, you can look at their steals, you can look at their blocks, you can look at their turnovers, okay? Turnovers. So that's the game, the basketball Euro league between Bologna and Valencia. Okay. Um, Valencia has won a thriller in Spain earlier this season by just 2 points. Bologna is more strong at home behind their Victorian backcourts. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting game today. All right, so let's look at the UKL SLB game, SLB game between Leicester and Sheffield. I think it's the EuroCup semifinals between Leicester and Sheffield. Let's look at that game to see how. Let's look at that game to see what their last. Is that game to see what their last. Okay, sorry, that's not it. Let's look at the last game to see what their last games have been. Okay, okay, okay. Anyway, I can find here. So let's just go to let's look at okay. So let's look at the game. Okay, so that's it. And Leicester and Sheffield. Okay, Leicester versus Sheffield. Okay, actually Sheffield versus Leicester. Okay, so let's look at that game for today. All right, let's look at that game for today. This is going to be a clash of the Titans. Okay, the League Two top scorers, Zach Jackson and Cartman go head to head. Okay, the Riders are undefeated 7-0 this season. Okay, okay, they are defeated 7-0 this season, but Sheffield famously blocked and knocked them out of the playoff last year. It's going to be a massive grudge match. Okay, it's going to be a massive grudge match. So let's look at their last 5 games when they are playing when Sheffield is playing at home. They scored an average of 82 and considered 83 full time. Why? And Leicester, when they are playing away, they scored an average of 78 and considered an average of 85 full time. You can also now look at how they fare, right? How they fare and we can look at how they fare during what's it called? How they fare during halftime. Considering halftime, Sheffield they've scored an average of 40 goals, 41 points, and considered an average of 45, while Leicester they've scored an average of 40 points and have considered an average of 45. Okay, That's for that's for full time. You can also now look at their head to head, their field goals. All right, their field goals. What have they fed in their last 5 games? You can also drill down to look at their 10 games all season. You can look at their 3 points. You can look at their rebounds. Okay, their rebounds. You can look at their assists. You can look at their steals, their block, right, and their turnovers. Okay, so this is the game between Sheffield versus Leicester. Okay, so let's look at the EuroCup semi-final game two between Bahcesehir and Besiktas. All right, between okay, so we'll just say between Cole and Besiktas. Okay, let's look at so how are they faring in their last 5 games? In their last 5 games, Cole has scored an average of 78 points and have conceded 77. Right, while Besiktas they've scored an average of 94 and conceded 80 in their last 5 games. And also let's look at halftime and see how they have fared in their last 5 games. Okay. And Cole they've scored an average of 37 and conceded an average of 40 in their last 5 games when they are playing at home. Why Besiktas when they are playing away, they've scored an average of 46 and conceded 39. Okay, considered 39. Right, that's for time that's for half time. You can also look at their head to head. And look at their head to head, you can see that Cole they are on a 60% form in their last 5 games, while Besiktas are on a 80% form in their last 5 games. You can look at their field goals, you can look at their 3 points, you can look at their free throw goals, you can look at their rebounds, you can look at their assists, you can look at their steals, you can look at their blocks, you can look at their turnovers, okay? You can look at their turnovers, okay? Great, great. Okay, so that's the game between Cole and Besiktas. Okay, the Lions are favorites. Okay, um, okay. So Besiktas leads this series. 1-0 after a 91-72 blowout victory on March 31st. Okay, while Cole must win tonight to avoid elimination. Okay. So we're going to watch out for Malachi Flynn of Cole to carry the scoring lead to keep their final hopes alive. Okay, okay. So we're going to that's the analysis between Cole and Besiktas. Okay, so we're going to now look at the London Basketball League game between the UK Basketball League game between London Lions, okay, and the Gladiators, all right. The Lions are the favorites, but the Gladiators won their last encounter in London. Expect a high tempo transition game. Okay, this is going to be a game between Salu and this is going to be a high scoring, high tempo transition game. Okay, so let's look at how they have fared in their last five games. Their last 5 games when the London Lions are playing at home, they scored an average of 86 points and conceded 68 points when they are playing at home. Okay, while the Gladiators they scored an average of 97 and conceded 107. They've conceded a lot of points when they are playing at home. Okay, we can also now look at their full time and look at their half time when they are playing. When London Lions they are playing at home, they scored an average of 41 and conceded 33. Why and Gladiators when they are playing away, they scored an average of 35 and conceded 49. We have a 0-0 here because London did not played for the for the time that Besiktas has played for away. London has not played. They've been playing more of their home matches at home. That's why you see 0 there. Okay, so you can also now can look at their head to head. Okay, you can look at their head to head. Their head to head, you can see in their last 5 games, London Lions they've been on 100% form, while the Gladiators they've been on 20% form. Okay, 20% form. You can also now look at their field goals. You can look at their 3-point goals. You can look at their rebounds. Okay, you can look at their rebounds, the last 5 games full time. You can also drill down to 10 games all season, full time, half time. You can look at their assists, you can look at their blocks, you can look at their turnover. All right, you can look at their turnover. Okay, so that's it for the game between the London Lions and the Gladiators. Okay, so let's look at the game between Sulai and Giovanna. Sulai and Giovanna. I think the Lithuanian League. Okay, the Lithuanian League. Let's look at that game and see. I think it's a Lithuanian League. A Lithuanian League. Let's look at that game and see. All right, this is the battle for the final playoff spot. Okay, and Sulai has won 4 of their last head-to-head. Okay, so so this is going to be, yeah, this is going to be the battle for the last playoff spot. Okay, let's look at what they have. Let's look at their numbers in their last 5 matches. Their last 5 matches, Sulai have scored an average of 89 points and have conceded. They scored an average of 89 points and conceded 90 when they are playing at home. While Giovanna, they've scored an average of 85 and have conceded an average of 94 when they are playing away in their last 5 match half full time. Okay, so let's look at halftime to see how they have fared. Okay, let's look at halftime to see how they have fared. Okay, in the last 5 games, Sulai they've scored an average of 43 and conceded 48 when they are playing at home, while Giovanna they've scored an average of 44 and conceded an average of 48 when they are playing away. When they are playing away for halftime, okay, for halftime. So we can also now look at their head-to-head. You can look at their field goals. You can look at their 3 points. Right? You can look at their free throws. You can look at their rebounds. You can look at their assists. You can look at their steals, their block, their turnovers. Okay, their turnovers. Right? Their turnovers. So next, let's look at the game between Boraj and Zelda. Let's look at the game between Boraj and Zelda. Okay, let's look at it. We're going to be a little bit fast now for because of time. Okay, because these games they are going to begin in time from now. So let's look at the last 5 games. And Borak, they've scored an average of 87 and conceded 88 when they are playing at home. While Zelda have scored an average of 67 and conceded an average of 72 while they are playing away. All right, away in their last 5 matches. So you look at their head to head. You can see that Borak they've been on 20% form, while Zada have been on 80% form. You can look at their field goals, 3 points, rebounds, assists, steal, blocks, and turnovers. Okay, and their turnovers. Okay, so let's look at the next game between this is a French Pro League. So let's look at Zakaris and Neptunas. This is also a Lithuanian league. Okay, a Lithuanian league that will be happening around 16 o'clock today. Okay, 16 o'clock today. All right. So if you look at their last 5 games, you can see that Zegiris Kunas have scored an average of 82 points and have conceded 82 their last 5 games. Right. While away, Neptunas have scored an average of 77 and conceded 68. Okay, you can also look at how they have fared, right, for halftime. Let's just quick look at how they are fared for halftime. You can see that you can see that the Kunas have scored an average of 42 and conceded 47 when they are playing at home, while Neptunas have scored an average of 41 and conceded 36 while they are playing away. While they are playing away.